The night he was born, the sky burned red. Lightning slashed through the heavens, splitting trees in half. The earth trembled. The midwives whispered, "This was no ordinary child." His mother, drenched in sweat, held him close, his tiny fingers curled into fists, his eyes glowing in the dim torchlight. The elders gasped, a child born with the spirit of fire, and so they named him Olofa-Ina, he who shoots arrows of fire. As a boy, he did not run, he hunted, he did not play, he trained. By the time he could walk, he could strike a bird from the sky without looking. By the time he was 10, grown warriors feared sparring with him. His arrows never missed. Some said he whispered to the wind, commanding it to guide his weapons. But strength alone does not make a legend. War does. Oyo was the jewel of the Yoruba people, a city of warriors, traders, and kings. But power invites enemies. Ede was the empire's shield, the fortress between Oyo and the outside world. If Ede fell, Oyo would be next. But war did not come from the outside, it started from within. Afonja, Oyo's own general, grew restless. He wanted more power, more land, more fear. But to rule, he had to break Oyo first. And so, he did the unthinkable. He invited the Fulani into Yoruba land. At first, they came as allies, but the moment Oyo's defenses were weak, the Fulani turned. They burned villages, enslaved families, cut through warriors like they were nothing. Their cavalry thundered across the land like the gods of war themselves. Oyo was bleeding. The Alafin, once proud, now desperate, needed a warrior. Not just any warrior, a weapon, a force of nature. A man who could bring fire against fire. That man was Timi of Olofa-Ina. The messengers arrived in Ede, breathless. They found Timi in the forest, arrows buried deep in the trunks of trees. They spoke of destruction, of death, of war. Timi did not answer. He simply reached for his bow, and when the war drum sounded, he was ready. That night, the enemy came. A sea of torches, war chants filled the air. The Fulani rode in, confident, laughing, and then the sky burned. Timi's arrows screamed through the night, leaving trails of fire in the darkness. The enemy panicked, horses reared, their riders thrown. Flames devoured them, warriors fled, but there was nowhere to run. And Timi? He did not stop. By dawn, Ede still stood. The Fulani, destroyed. Their leader, burned alive by Timi's arrows. Oyo had been saved, but victory has a price. The Alafin did not celebrate. He did not cheer. Instead, he feared. A warrior who could burn an entire army, could burn a king. And so, fear won. The whispers began. What if he turns against us? Can a man who commands fire ever be controlled? Even the gods fear fire. Why shouldn't we? The king made his choice. Some say Timi was poisoned. Some say royal guards ambushed him in the night. Others whisper that he vanished into the forests, waiting for the day Oyo would need him again. But one thing is certain, his legend never died. Even today, when the wind howls at night in Ede, some say they see flaming arrows in the sky. And warriors, before stepping onto the battlefield, still whisper his name. Timi of Olofa-Ina, the warrior who fought with fire,